today, but part of it is the memorandum I already had sent out.
Update that came from your office a couple days ago. About all the things going on.
The economic development newsletter, yes,
Very nice.
good,
That
yeah,
was
thank
very
you.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I actually have, AI help me write the words. So I tell it all the concepts and what we need to cover, but I don't need to spend time
That's right,
writing the article.
that's right. That was good.
Thank you.
That was good.
We are using it a lot to be more efficient because we have to create a lot of editorial content in our office, and you still have to feed it the right
Right.
germs. But
That's right. It's a wealth of information too, isn't it?
yes,
Unbelievable. A couple brief.
and you have to be savvy, right?
Yeah.
But we use it when it makes sense for us. So, I want to go quickly through this first part so that we can talk about the opportunity zones more in depth.
Okay.
You may have some questions about that.
Sure.
But on page 1, business attraction, the comprehensive economic development strategy, we've been talking about this, Joe, since before you were in office. And it is finally currently in the public review period, which is open until March 11th. As part of the submission process, we are going to have to approve it at our board of directors meetings on March 13th. And then collectively, all the 5 counties that worked on this SEDS project, Allen, Hancock, Hardin, Putnam, and Van Wert, will submit their approvals and the draft document to the Economic Development Administration. So another part of the SEDS was I attended Greater Lima Region Inc. quarterly engagement breakfast and participated in a roundtable discussion to talk about the work that we've done on the SEDS. Just Greater Lima Region represents 8 counties, and all 5 of the counties that participated in this are part of that Greater Lima Region, which is an economic development branch. They're very closely, Greater Lima Region Inc. is very closely aligned with Allen Economic Development Group. However, they also provide support to 7 other surrounding counties. I got a data center inquiry, and this was for a really small data center. Had a consultative meeting with the developer and with AEP to discuss potential locations and provide contact information for the sites. And I made a point to note that this would be a small data center without the significant utility requirements of a large scale project that we see in the news. So just a small footprint, small utility demand.
Have you seen anything that happened yesterday in Washington DC with the news conference with the president?
No, I did watch the news, but it's mostly that part passing by.
You may want to take a look at that, because at that meeting, you know how Trump has all these different meetings all the time.
Yes,
And they had in there, John Houston was at the front table and talking about data centers
Yes.
and things of that energy stuff. And it sounds like Ohio's going to be a big player in this as we go into the future.
I will look into that. However, to clue you guys in, strategically, my department has decided not to pursue data center projects. If they come our way, we won't, I'll be helpful, I'll give them site information and all the information, but we're not actively recruiting because there is a risk associated with that as far as the longevity of the project. Are they going to change the technology so quickly that the data centers will be outdated well before their expected useful life, as well as the utility demands? We don't have a lot of excess utility capacity available in our communities, and for the relatively low job creation that a data center provides, is it worth the strain on our resources? And so it's not one of our focus areas. However, this small, and even this small project is not the type of project that we would aggressively incentivize. We'll help them get information and local contacts, but would probably not pursue, because again, the job creation is the most important thing that we would look at.
Yeah, I just happened to clicking through channel surfing,
Yeah.
and it popped up and everything, and I saw Houston there, and I think Bernie Marino was there also too.
Okay,
And so it was one of those things, it was a meeting talking about energy and things of that nature. And, so I thought, well, next time I see you, I'll bring it up to you.
well, and you know, as we go down through the bullet points here, opportunity zones is the next bullet, which we'll get into later. But the land use planning grant, I provided a letter of support to Mark Dahl in regional planning for an application for the ODA land use planning grant. And that ties into my request for a comprehensive, countywide comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan will likely focus on land use planning, but we've requested that it also include a housing needs assessment to help out our housing coalition with the data that we need to help support housing development in the county, recruiting housing development in the county. And I really think that having a land use plan and the SEDS in place will help us make intelligent decisions when it comes to various types of opportunities. We'll know what is the right fit for Hardin County instead of trying to, you know, put a square peg in a round hole when the opportunities come down the pike.
I agree.
Business retention and expansion, enterprise zone management, that tax incentive review council meetings in Kenton and Ada are scheduled for tomorrow. In Kenton at 8:30, Ada at, we had to move that back to 10:15 because we got a couple extra projects in Kenton, so we're gonna have to extend that meeting a little bit, moved Ada's back. They have less now, they're down to 2 in Ada, and in Kenton, we've got Stillwater Graphic Packaging, Robinson Fin Machines, which is just a construction update, Vancrest construction update, and in Ada, just Associated Plastics and Wilson Sporting Goods, which is they actually, it's a construction update because they did not actually receive any tax incentive yet. Their construction was completed, and remember, we get our tax bills a year late,
Yeah,
so.
it was a timing thing.
Yes.
I know what you're right.
So rather than give them an incentive for a partial year, the auditor's office chose to not give them any in that first partial year so that they'll get the full 15 that their agreement indicates. Also working on scheduling BR&E days with regional growth partnerships, so that'll be good. We like to block out, you know, big days, lots of meetings all in one day and knock them out in partnership with RGP and Jobs Ohio occasionally. Workforce development, Hardin Career Task Force and the 3E program, we started receiving sponsorships for the 3E program. That was something that we talked about a few weeks or months ago. Ohio High Point was covering a portion of that 3E coordinator's pay, going towards Midwest Regional Educational Service Center, who employs the person. They're half-time in Hardin, half-time in Logan, and Ohio High Point was picking up a portion of the Hardin County compensation. In addition, all the county school districts also pay a portion of that. But Ohio High Point lost a grant that was covering that, and so they came to the Alliance, asked for us to help cover it, and I have in turn asked some of our manufacturing employers and major employers to give donations that will pass right back to Midwest Regional ESC to help fund that position, because the work that they've been doing with the 3E program is really valuable. And 3E, enrolled, enlisted, and employed after graduation is what the 3E stand for. So we asked for the donations, and then I did a follow-up and said, hey, if you want to do that donation, I'll be glad to send you an invoice. And that was what they needed, so they're starting to come in the door now.
Good.
Small business and entrepreneurship, this isn't happening through our office, but the Small Business Academy through the Small Business Development Center at Rhodes State is currently offering Small Business Academy VIP, very important planning. The sessions are Tuesdays, March 3rd through April 7th at the Bora Center at Rhodes State. So, that's pretty near, and they're offering, that session, so we're going to piggyback on their efforts and partner with them to help promote that. Community development, Kenton Historic Courthouse District Inc. I'm collaborating with Jennifer Ramsey in my office on a proposal to make significant changes to the structure and organization of Kenton Historic Courthouse District. We presented that to the Alliance Executive Committee and received preliminary approval on some of our ideas. More details to come. It's gonna be a big shift, but the gist of it is business attraction and retention and real estate revitalization. And so that's all I can say right now. Other Alliance operations, we had the annual meeting, successfully conducted it online. We got a quorum in attendance. The membership approved the 2025 financial report and the 2026 budget. Stephanie Jolliffe was approved to remain on the board for 2 additional years and serve as past chair. And then the new officers are Tracy Temple, Jordan Temple, and Braden Lewis. Also recently at the Economic Development Breakfast meeting, we had 2 featured speakers, and I really liked that format. Were you guys all in attendance, or Joe was there? We had 2 featured speakers, so we trimmed down some of the time that I talk, and we had Ohio Health as a major employer give an update on, they actually shared some great information on their services, their priorities, and also their recent years of investment, and it adds up significantly. And so I think that made the group feel very good that they're anchored pretty strongly here. And the other featured speaker was focused on workforce development, and that was Kayla Zahari from OSU Lima. And she shared some very interesting information too on the initiatives that they have in workforce development to make attaining higher levels of education, whether it be completely online associates or their specialized courses of study that they're offering, but to help people upskill and make it accessible for people to get those advanced levels of education.
So, Holly, I think I mentioned it to you earlier too, but I mentioned it here with this meeting too, that personally speaking, while watching the online annual meeting, I thought was very good. I think that worked out very well.
Yes.
It was very well coordinated. Everything worked fine, and I give kudos to you and the Alliance for having put it on. Thanks, good.
Yes, thank you. And we did a follow-up survey. We had about 21 responses to the survey. We got 25s and 1 4 out of 5. And so the feedback was good across the board on that. A couple of the comments were that people crave the in-person and the prestige, but we're going to provide that at the annual awards gala and banquet. So that'll be the big networking opportunity, dress up night, get the dinner, recognize the award recipients. And so we haven't done away with it, but I personally really appreciated getting that business meeting done in a no-nonsense approach.
And it was.
Yeah.
And to break it away from the banquet activities, I think was a good idea.
Thank you. Yeah, we hope to, we will likely continue that based on the feedback. It was, again, most of the comments were very positive.
So, and again, the banquet is when?
April
Something, I forget.
Yeah, in the teens.
Okay, no problem.
Watch your email.
It'll probably be a Thursday evening.
Yes.
It'd be the 16th.
16th.
That sounds right, because the legislative breakfast is April 24th, and that's why the gala date is blocked, because we've been working on legislative breakfast. We've got some ideas in the works to really elevate that for our chamber division advocacy, and we're going to provide some preparatory material to our speakers following a survey. We're gonna survey our membership, ask them what's important to them, provide that to our speakers, and allow our speakers to craft their messages based on what our local businesses have indicated. So that's why the April 24th date is sticking in my head, because we've been hot and heavy on legislative. But yeah, I'll make sure that you guys should have a paper invitation even for that gala. So someone somewhere.
We do, and I just took online.
Sorry, I got a lot crammed in here. Opportunity zones. When I started this job, it was expressed to me that it was regrettable that Hardin County had missed the boat on signing up for opportunity zones. When the program was rolled out, it was framed as a one-shot application. And the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has changed that, so we've got a second chance. And now those opportunity zones will be re-nominated every 10 years. So, in addition to opening the window, for us to apply, there are some other advantages that make it more lucrative for us now. So Hardin County qualifies for a new category. This is under item numeral number 2. The new category is called a Qualified Rural Opportunity Fund. The status provides 2 primary financial triggers that do not apply to urban areas. There is a 30% rural step-up. Investors who deploy capital in Hardin County receive a 30% reduction in their original capital gains tax bill after 5 years. Urban zones only receive a 10% reduction. There's also a 50% substantial improvement rule. To qualify for these tax breaks, the developer must improve the property. In rural tracts, they only need to increase the building's value by 50% compared to the standard 100% requirement. This makes renovation of historic or smaller scale buildings significantly more feasible. The 10-year tax-free appreciation. If an investment is held for 10 years, all profit made on the appreciation of that asset is 100% federal tax exempt. So it's really something that we don't want to miss out on to attract investors in the county. Eligibility and recommended census tracts. I worked on this, identifying the 3 priority census tracts that are eligible. The Ohio Department of Development requires tracts to meet one of 2 low-income community tests, either a poverty rate of 20% or more, or a median family income below 70% of the state or metro average. The recommended nominations for Hardin County are Kenton Central, Village of Ada, and Buck Pleasant Townships. And these can be used for housing investments or for industrial investments, as well as the historic building investments. So, the infrastructure in these 3 tracts make them rise to the top, as well as the potential for development. The window to nominate is not yet open. So in the intervening time, I will be evaluating other eligible tracts, because we might as well put forward everything that we can, even if we don't think, but this is the cream of the crop and the highest priority 3 tracts for us.
Okay.
The nomination process and requirements. The governor can only nominate 25% of the state's eligible tracts. To ensure Hardin County is selected, we must provide Ohio Department of Development with local government concurrence, demonstrated readiness, and reporting compliance. So I've been checking the Department of Development website, and they are not ready yet to receive proposals. So I'll keep watching that, and when they open that window, we'll be ready to make that nomination. So I will likely be coming back to Buck Township, County Commissioners, Kenton City Council, Ada Village Council, as well as the appropriate township trustees or village councils if there are additional tracts, but getting those resolutions in support. And then tying it, the SEDS being in place will help say we are planning for the future and this is a good tract to nominate. Because the governor's gonna have to look at every nomination and then not every eligible tract will be nominated, but he can only nominate 25% of the eligible tracts. So let's say economic development directors like me make nominations that are equivalent to 50% of the eligible tracts, he's still only gonna be able to choose half of those. So we wanna make sure that we make a strong case when we do it. So waiting for the Department of Development to open that portal, the deadline will likely be July 1st, so, in the next couple months.
The deadline to have everything submitted will be by July 1st. So that means they'll probably open up that portal fairly soon.
Yes. Yes, hopefully so. And then, there's a 90-day window for nominations. September is when the governor is slated to submit, his list of recommendations to the US Treasury. And January 2027 is when the new opportunity zones go into effect. So we've got a couple, 3 months here, and in that time, I will likely draft sample resolution language, in support of, and get that to everyone.
And do the same thing to everyone, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe slightly, customized.
That's somewhat consistent.
But it was, something that was mentioned to me several times when I started the job, how regrettable it was that we did not even apply for an opportunity zone in the first application window, and everybody thought it was a one and done. And now they've, changed that, and it was the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that made that possible. So here we are, we've got the chance, and it's top of mind, because I don't wanna make the same mistake that someone else made.
I think that's pretty.
So there's a lot cooking, a lot of good stuff, and I cannot wait to announce the Kenton Historic Courthouse District stuff. It's gonna be really exciting too. We've just gotta get all our steps in order.
Good.
Questions?
Been busy.
And somebody called me and said, "Did I wake you up?" And I said, "No." I was definitely awake.
No, sounds like some good things coming down the road, that's what we're after.
You know, we wanna fill that toolbox, right?
Yep, absolutely.
All right,
Very good. Thank you.
thank you.
All.
You got in and let me, this is my first time going through the security. So I,
The very first day it started, I was the first one that stopped working. Of course,
Yeah.
we're gonna set it up.
I told the guy up there, I said,
Well, Fred, the Ada boys won last night against Allen East for the districts. That's a close game.
In fact, my neighbor was the one that hit the game-winning shot.
Oh, really? Nice.
Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, him and his family lived on our street for, ever since he was this little kid, so. But he hit the game winner, and, good athlete, good football player, good basketball player, so. How Richmond,
Well, they got beat in the, sectionals. That was last Thursday.
that's it. So last night, again, this was the district semi last
Yep.
night. I wonder who they play in the finals.
I don't know who,
I'm not sure who's all in that district.
I don't either.
I see they played at Liberty Benton, so if they win that, my thinking is they may go to BG after that.
Yeah, yeah, cause I don't know how, or they would they go to Lima Senior? Cause they used to host quite a few.
You're right, it's probably Lima Senior.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, hopefully they continue. I don't know, I think, I don't know if USB plays tonight, or if they played. I know, cause I know USB won there, so they should be playing. I don't know who they play. So, but hopefully they get,
I'm not sure who's all in that.
be nice to have a couple county schools keep going down the road. It's always a big time.
Would USV and Ada be the same district?
Mhm.
I would think so.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, depends on how they, the seating was, where they would play.
But we're at the end of the district,
It
right?
would be getting close.
So
In all truthfulness, they could play each other for,
they could, for the district champion, if
yeah,
the USV would.
I don't know if they, I can't remember who they're supposed to play. Well, hopefully, they continue to do it.
I'm assuming you got the enterprise zone names too.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Good. ceremony for my grandson. He is a seventh grader at Ada, and he and several others were nominated in the Beta Club. And the Beta Club is like the National Honor Society for junior high kids.
Nice.
So he's in that, and then a while later, my other grandson, who's a junior, was inducted in the National Honor Society. So
Congratulations.
kind of a cool day for Rush boys.
Back here, I can just go Joe for just a second, and then you can go up there and help, the hot seats up.
The hot seat's up there?
That's right.
Yeah, Josh, morning.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Good seeing you too.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Where are you doing?
Josh,
Ready?
how you doing, sir?
Good.
Nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming.
Happy it's
Are
been a
you familiar with Brown Hole?
Vaguely, they do a lot of the child care.
Yeah, yeah.
Advocacy.
And I see
Yeah.
information about them, I thought, well, I'll ask you if you know anything about it.
Yeah, I haven't done any work directly with them, but, they're kind of the organization that's really spearheading all the child care efforts at the state level, I think, is what I
Okay,
understand.
okay.
Yeah, and local.
I didn't know if any of their work had anything to do with Head Start or anything like that.
Not directly, but
Not
certainly there's indirect impact for sure.
Okay, okay, great. Have a chair.
Awesome.
Just wait 1 second till Tori gets in
No
here before
problem.
we get started, and we'll get going.
No problem.
Nice, beautiful day.
Yeah, well, I said, my oldest, who loves to go fishing, he would have had bait for the next month or more. We're just walking down the new sidewalk.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, let's see, your oldest is in what grade?
He's an 8th grader.
Eighth grader over upper, right?
At upper high school,
Yeah.
or upper junior high, soon to be upper high school.
Yeah, soon to be upper high school.
Crazy.
And baseball player,
Yep, my oldest is not a baseball player, my younger one is.
you're young, okay, that was where.
That'll be starting here April 1st, so.
It's right around the corner.
It might be my last hurrah coaching youth sports.
And that's what I was going to say, you're still coaching, right?
This might be it. 'cause
How do
I'm-
you find time with everything that you're involved with? I mean to tell you, quite frankly, you're a very busy person.
Yeah, you find it. It's there. A very supportive wife. That's the key.
You're very, very busy.
That's the key. So, yes, I love the youth sports thing. It'll be bittersweet when it's over, cause it is a time commitment, but I do love doing it.
I was tickled to death that Julie Gossett was able to make.
Oh, that was great.
Wasn't that great?
Almost no notice, and she,
I mean, virtually no notice, just, getting the appointment and everything like that, and then there she is, and so
Yeah.
that was really good.
yeah, I look forward to working
And
with her.
we look forward to working with her too.
I understand she's doing kind of, had multiple county.
That's right, we've set up an opportunity where she is not only with Always County, but now with Hardin County.
I always kind of wondered if that would be the direction in smaller counties.
Well, it's one of those things, it's something where it worked out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Both counties are involved in a lot of different things, the Area 8
Oh, okay.
activity, the world involved with that. And so it just kind of worked out, common resources.
Yeah.
And so, the opportunity came about and we were able to work out the details.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Josh, Tori's back, we'll get started, just for your information, you are being recorded. So, whatever you say will go out on the internet somewhere, so.
And then that's lovely.
But I wanna thank Josh on a very, very short notice to come today. We, HHWP had their meeting a week ago last evening.
Yep.
And, there was, some things that came out in the meeting that, Oh, I know what regarding part of the county, that was interesting, and I thought, well, it's a good opportunity instead of giving the information secondhanded and
Yeah.
hear it from you. And, so I was glad that you were able to come here and kind of share some of those things that you're seeing right now with our Head Start.
Sure, well, happy to be here. I need to get back on the regular schedule, because I think I was on it for calendar year last year, so when I leave here, I'll get back on that, if that's all right. Perfect, okay. Head Start, so we've had struggles with reaching full enrollment, particularly in Hardin County. We're not having that struggle elsewhere. And so, a lot of this credit goes to Bailey Daring, our Head Start director, who heads up that division. She had proposed to the board a locally designed option that kind of, so let me take a step back. The Office of Head Start regulates the Head Start program, and it's very regulated. And so anytime you would like to do something that's slightly pivoting from their typical rule set, you have to get approval, and it has to go through the board, and importantly, Head Start Policy Council as well. And so Bailey had recognized that we've had trouble reaching enrollment and had assessed the reasons why, and had formulated a plan with her leadership team to help kind of mitigate that. And so that was the crux of the discussion at the board, was to get blessing to move forward to now we need to propose this idea we have to the Office of Head Start and get their blessing. So that could go either way. So they could say no, and the idea could be dead in the water, but the ball is moving, so to speak, and we hope to get their blessing soon. So talk just a little bit about what that looks like. So, but I'll start with this. What we found with enrollment and why we were having enrollment struggles is mostly due to the fact that a majority of our classrooms in Hardin County are Part A classrooms. We have, it's a 2-3 split, so we have three Part A classrooms and 2 full day. The 2 full day are full with wait lists. All of our vacancies are in our Part A classroom, and we've even offered those that are on the wait list for the full day Part A slots, and they just don't want them. It's not convenient for the family. I would venture to believe that transportation that we talked about a couple of years ago has something to do with that. Being a more rural area, a family can commit transportation resources to get to and from. When they're receiving a full day service, it becomes a less in-demand proposition, if you will, if you're only getting 3 hours, 3.5 hours then. So that's probably doing away with transportation certainly has a negative impact, although I would be remiss if I didn't note that as a net, that's been a positive net. So prior to, the reason we got rid of transportation, I don't mean to spend too much time on that, but it's worth noting and repeating, is that we need to put those dollars into salaries and compensation for teachers, because we just we weren't staffing classrooms, and so we had demand for services and we didn't have teachers to teach. And we still, that change I'm still in full support of. I think it was the right move, but it was a net positive. We don't have any we don't have the level of staffing challenges that we had before, and we don't have any classrooms that aren't open because of staff. But on the back end, it's a service that's removed. So in a rural area like Hardin County, it's probably impacting enrollment to a certain degree. I don't know that we would have made a different decision, but that's probably a factor. Hardin County is also seen, as you're aware, an increase in the number of preschool openings, public preschool. And so, I hate to use the word competition, but there's more availability, and so all of that said, to get back to what I was talking about, we're looking at a locally designed option that will allow us to convert some part day classrooms into full day classrooms. So 1 or 2 part days will turn into 1 or 2 full days. And that leaves us with a remainder of kids that we don't have physical space for. So rather than doing an enrollment reduction, which we would have to do, which we don't want to do, we will either transfer some of those to a different location, or, well, that's the alternative. The hope is that Head Start approves our locally designed option, which calls for serving those remainder in an in-home type setting. I know I'll stop for a minute, because I know I'm kind of all over the place. Does that all make sense? The key is, they don't typically allow in-home services. However, a locally designed option can call for in-home services if we can prove to the Office of Head Start that it makes sense. So that's what we're looking at. So if they say no to that, we still will be looking at converting a few part day to full day, but then,
Into 4 days.
but then you have a physical space issue where you're gonna have basically the PM session, or half of one part day won't have a space to go, because that classroom's gonna be occupied full day.
Right.
So we'll have to either, if we can't do locally designed option here, we'll have to move those to probably Hancock County, where we have space and time in.
Help me out a little bit as far as, rough ballpark.
Sure.
Percentage wise, full day versus part day, what is that breakdown down percentage wise?
Agency, program wide, so all.
For Hardin County.
For Hardin County, there's two full day classrooms, and it's 2 part day classrooms, but there's 2 sessions in each, so you're gonna have roughly 20 kids in the AM part day, 20 kids in the PM.
Okay,
So, well, 40 kids per part day classroom, half in the morning, half in the evening.
and full time
And
is?
full time is 20 kids
20 kids.
all day, so there's about 80 individual children being served, 40 of which are being served in
Part-time,
part-time.
and the other 40 full-time?
Correct.
Okay, so 50/50%.
Yes, yeah, you got it.
50, okay.
I had to get there myself.
And in doing it this way, it's an attempt to get that, reach to that other 50% that we're having issues with on the part-time.
Correct.
To try to better that situation.
Correct. The other side benefit from offering some in-home, services through a locally designed option is that we have that option currently in place for our new early Head Start expansion. And what we found is, particularly for children that are higher need, it's a great way to transition, into, you're not transitioning into a classroom, but you get to experience some of the curriculum and get kind of, accustomed to some of the things you're gonna be doing, and give the family a chance to know the staff and the whole 9 yards. Eventually, we want to serve most kids in a center-based situation, and, the kids that we would be serving in a home-based situation would have priority then in the next year to move into center-based if they were ready for it.
So, when is it again that we're looking at having an answer concerning?
Well, we're going to present it, Bailey likely already presented it to the Office of Head Start, this week. So they're kind of on their own time frame. The goal would be to have this decided on prior to next school year, so August, September. Again, a lot of that rides on how quickly they do their thing at the federal office.
I looked at this as an opportunity where, okay, we have an issue, so what we're trying to do is thinking a little bit as to how to correct this issue and moving forward with it, and that's what HHWP is doing with this, and so I looked at it as a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And to keep things, maintain things going forward.
Absolutely.
And address an issue, maybe looking at things, and we may find other things that crop up that we can help out to
Yeah.
in doing that.
The only other thing I would add, if I may, is, we're also internally looking at ways to expand the infants and toddlers, what they call early Head Start. And, we of course have the grant award that's moving forward for those early Head Start positions in Hancock County. That's gonna give us, as an organization, the experience we need to if the funding becomes available again in the future to apply, and we would be looking to apply for additional slots, likely in Hardin County and the other two counties as well. And again, that also, I've heard for a decade now that, Head Start will, if the trends continue, so to speak, Head Start will probably be more of a birth to age 3 program as more public preschool becomes the norm. The need will be for the younger group.
That brings its own challenges, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's a different babies and cribs and diapers and the whole 9 yards. It's a birth age 3 is definitely different than preschool age, for sure. But, awesome.
Good.
So, we're lacking in this county because basically we're more rural.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the numbers for the other counties? As far as, we got a active, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
What's Hancock, we can't really compare to Hancock because they're a lot better than us, but like Wyandotte, where are they at?
Wyandotte has 2 full-day classrooms, so approximately 40. I just asked a little Grace, don't quote me exactly on these numbers.
No, I'm not expecting.
Putnam would be, let's see, only one full day in Putnam right now, so there's 20, and then the remainder are in Hancock. So if I do my math correctly, 60, 140, so there's approximately 188 in Hancock County.
How about with Putnam and Wyandotte, do they have part-day?
Those are both, there's 2 full-day classrooms in Wyandotte, excuse me, and 1 full-day classroom in Putnam. Yeah.
And so no part-day,
Correct.
okay. Whereas we do.
We do have a full-day classroom in Forest. I always forget, Forest is in Hardin County. Yeah.
Well, we're kind of a tri-county right there, so
Yeah.
good.
So, yeah, good, we just had that, so.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody heard the same.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy to come in anytime. So thank you for the invitation. Like I said,
It's good seeing you again.
yeah, you too. Thank you.
So we'll know more as we get towards the new school year as to the decision. So,
We'll keep you updated. Obviously, you'll be directly updated through the board, and I'm happy to come back and talk more. And, quite frankly, it wouldn't hurt probably to bring Bailey, because she's the,
it might be a good idea,
Yeah.
she can, let's face it, she's got all the details.
She's-
knowledge and everything.
I have no problem admitting that she knows way more than I do about it.
Well, but, this is something where, I just saw that there's some needs there in Hardin County that are being addressed, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity for the other 2 commissioners to hear.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you.
Good to see you
Good seeing you. Is there anything else I can discuss while I'm here?
Any other things going on with?
Oh, I always have to talk about transportation.
Very good, very good.
I guess I'll start with that. How's transportation going from your perspective?
Thank good.
I always look at things where no news is good news.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
And I'll be honest with you, I hear more than anything, I see the buses going around all over the place.
Rolling billboards.
And so I look at that as very good news.
Yeah, awesome. Well, great
Yeah, I
to
think
hear.
they're used a lot.
Yeah, I actually rode once, just
Oh, nice.
for where I was at, and I was like, the gentleman that was driving was very polite,
Oh, great.
I mean,
Always
and-
good to hear.
and just, it's great, it's a welcome addition to Hardin County.
Well, again, we always want to hear feedback, I know it's cliche, but feedback is a gift.
So-
Even critical feedback.
So, is the government looking at more funding opportunities with regard to that?
So, we just received our 2020, 2027, so the July 1st through June 30th, grant award. And funny, they gave us fewer state dollars than we requested, but they gave us more federal dollars, and it netted to about 150,000 more than what we asked. However, those federal dollars must have local dollars to match them. And the state dollars are part of that local match. So more federal funds, less state funds than what we requested to meet our budget as presented. So again, the budget capacity goes up, but we lost local funds to draw down the federal funds. So we gotta work.
So the work is needed to draw more local funds
Correct.
to make the match.
And I can't say I'm surprised with that. There's the federal funds it seems to me, and this is not an educated observation, it's just kind of an observation from afar, that the state has access to more federal funds than they can disperse to rural transit programs because the local funds aren't there to leverage. Again, that's a completely anecdotal. That's not an evidence-based observation, but that's been our experience. We haven't ever received fewer federal funds than what we asked for, and in fact, they appropriated more federal funds to us this year. So anyway, we'll work on that, and part of that will be maximizing our relationships with the county JFS NEM programs, and so we have great relationships with folks in Hardin, Wyandotte, and Hancock County for all. So, but more budget capacity is better than less budget capacity.
At least there's more opportunity.
Correct.
We'll call it opportunity.
Exactly right.
Hopefully we can take advantage of that.
We will certainly do our best.
Well, I know you will.
So, awesome. Well, thank you again. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Good seeing you again.
Take care. Thank you. Do I get to be on YouTube again?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That's why I come here, and when I go to Findlay City Council, I always tell my kids, hey, I'm on TV, and I think they're gonna be really proud of me, and they think I'm just lame. That's all.
Oh, really?
They get to see the back of your head, but it's good information.
That's all right.
Do you have the channel? I don't have a card, I don't think
I'll find it.
oh yeah, just look up Hardin County.
Hardin County.
and find it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
We were just talking about, I was on it quarterly last year, so we should probably try it. Quarterly? We can start in March.
Well, gentlemen, have a great day.
Yep.
I know we got to go to.
Take care, Joe.